This episode is brought to you by pastasworld.com, where you can find jigsaw puzzles, coffee and tea mugs, canvas and poster prints, iPhone cases, and more. You can even order custom items with your own pictures. Go to pastasworld.com or the Pastas World shop on Etsy to learn more.
You're listening to I Love This TV Show, The Golden Girls.
Hi, and welcome to the I Love This TV Show podcast. I'm your host, Noelle from pastasworld.com. Each season of this podcast will contain a TV show in full. This means the length of the season depends on the length of the TV show. The first season is, of course, The Golden Girls.
The Golden Girls, Season 1, Episode 13, A Little Romance. Sophia is packing clam sauce. Dorothy wants to know why she's taking so much food to Phil's, Sophia's son, Dorothy's brother. She doesn't want to starve as his wife doesn't cook. Blanche comes back quite excited. Sophia and Dorothy are far less amused. Blanche: Dorothy, I've just discovered a great new way to meet more men. Sophia: More men? You're going to need a turnstile in your bedroom. Blanche: I enrolled in a CPR class. For 6 consecutive hours, I was on my back while dozens of eligible men pressed their lips to mine and breathed air into my limp little body. Dorothy: So what? You did the same thing at McSorley's bar on Super Bowl weekend. Rose comes out of her room quite dressed up. She's got a date, and she's been going out with this person about 5 weeks. He's a psychiatrist from the Grief Center. She's been pretty tight-lipped about him, though, and no matter how often Blanche and Dorothy press her for information, they get none. Sophia heads out for her trip to Phil's, and Dorothy begs her not to get into a fight with Phil's wife. It's another evening. Rose storms out onto the lanai, very angry. Blanche and Dorothy tease her about it. They have invited the man she's been dating to dinner without Rose's consent. Rose is very freaked out about this. Blanche was happy to talk to him on the phone. She even told him about her dream, which he analyzed for her. The doorbell rings, and it is Rose's boyfriend, Dr. Newman. Dorothy is taken aback because he's a little person and mistakes him for someone else first. Blanche thinks that it's a practical joke, but it's not. She just puts her foot in her mouth on a catastrophic level. Dorothy and Blanche retreat into the kitchen. Dorothy gives her a pep talk to bolster her. Blanche: I have never been so embarrassed in my entire life. I made a fool of myself, didn't I? Dorothy: Yes. Blanche: Oh, I feel awful, just awful. Dorothy: Listen, if you don't want tonight to turn into a total disaster, you have to stop being so self-conscious. Blanche: Oh, well, you're right, of course. Dr. Newman is a guest in our home. If I'm self-conscious, he'll be ill at ease. I can't allow that to happen. It would be unsouthern. Dorothy: That's a good bell. So Blanche tries her best, but almost instantly puts her foot in her mouth. Her streak continues throughout the evening. Finally, Dr. Newman gives an inspiring speech. Blanche goes from embarrassed to turned on. To complicate matters, Sophia arrives home well ahead of when she's expected to. Her grandson is no longer graduating now. He flunked out of animal grooming school. Rose comes back in with Dr. Newman and exclaims at the sight of Sophia. Everyone is afraid of what she might say. And it's quite clear of that too, not just by how silent they are, but their body language, their posture. Oh, they just look horrified. She excuses herself because she's tired from the trip, and as she heads towards her room, she calls for Dorothy and asks about Dr. Newman. Dorothy confirms that he is indeed a little person. Sophia is relieved as she thought she was having another stroke. Dr. Newman makes his exit, but before he leaves, he asks Rose to dinner the next evening. He has something important he wants to discuss. Rose asks the girls what they think, and she's all aglow. She tells the girls she thinks he's going to propose at dinner tomorrow night. Blanche is so shocked that she drops the plate of food she's carrying, and it shatters. Dorothy is the first one to ask why she thinks he's going to propose. Rose lays out some information to back up her thought process. But ultimately, Rose is embarrassed by his stature. The fact that other people talk about his size upsets her and makes her feel uncomfortable. Blanche tries to comfort Rose with a story about a boy she dated in high school named Benjamin. She was at a crossroads as he asked her to her senior prom. Rose and Dorothy think that it was because Benjamin was different. However, it turns out it was actually because he was from New Jersey. He was a Yankee. Dorothy is clearly pissed off by this. And it didn't help Rose at all. It just increased her confusion. Rose heads off to her room. Dorothy and Blanche follow to see if they can help in any way. She lays on her bed and falls asleep. She dreams that it's her wedding day to Dr. Newman. Rose is freaking out. Sophia comes out of the closet dressed as a priest and informs her that she's presiding over the wedding. Rose's father also pops out of the closet, but he's a little person. Her father points out that he came to her in the dream like this to make the point. He gives her great advice. Jonathan pops out of the bathroom to check on Rose. They decide to get married. This is when Rose starts talking in her sleep while hugging a big pillow. Dorothy and Blanche rush in to see if she's okay, as they overheard her talking in her sleep. Rose tells them that she had the weirdest dream, but it helped her make up her mind. She is going to marry Jonathan if he asks her. Sophia pops in to see what the commotion's all about. Sophia: what's going on? Blanche: oh, Rose has decided to keep on seeing Jonathan. Sophia: fine. We're all adults here. Let the man out of the pillowcase. We don't mind if he sleeps over. Everyone is shocked at Sophia for saying that. It's now the next night, and Rose is at dinner with Dr. Newman. He throws Rose a curveball at dinner, starts talking about accepting each other as they are, and she thinks that he's talking about his size, but it's actually because she's not Jewish. And he breaks up with her. She's so upset that she makes a scene. Rose: you're dumping me because I'm not Jewish? Dr. Newman: oh no, please understand. I come from a very religious family. Rose: I can't believe this. I've been agonizing over this relationship, and now you have the nerve to... Dr. Newman: Rose, please lower your voice. People are staring at you. Rose: staring at me? They're staring at you. Dr. Newman: well, yes, but I'm used to it. I'm a very snappy dresser. Rose: I'm sorry I did that. I guess I was upset. Dr. Newman: I understand. I guess this has been a difficult relationship for both of us. They both calm down and discuss that they have each faced challenges in this relationship. We'll be back after a quick break.
Favorite quotes. Blanche: Dorothy, I just discovered a great new way to meet more men. Sophia: more men? You're going to need a turnstile in your bedroom. Blanche: so Rose, you're seeing a psychiatrist? Sophia: it's about time. Blanche: I can't allow that to happen. It's on Southern. Dorothy: that's a good bell. Sophia: that guy over there, is he a midget? Dorothy: yes. Sophia: thank God, I thought I was having another stroke. Blanche: I went to my senior prom with a Yankee. Rose: Sophia, why are you in a priest's outfit? Sophia: because I'm the one who's going to marry you. Sophia: why are we in the dream in the first place if she's throwing us out? Sophia: we're all adults here. Let the man out of the pillowcase. We don't mind if he sleeps over. Waiter: how was the shrimp? Rose: unfortunately, I'll never know.
Facts in this episode. Rose has a new man in her life, a Dr. Newman, who's a psychiatrist at the Grief Center. Blanche found yet another way to meet men. Sophia is going to visit her son Phil along with his wife and kids for a week because one of his kids is graduating dog grooming school. Blanche invites Rose's new man over without her permission. Rose's Dr. Newman is a little person. Blanche cannot handle his small stature and puts her foot in her mouth over and over and over all evening long. Rose thinks that Dr. Newman is going to propose to her. Sadly, Dr. Newman breaks up with Rose because she's not Jewish. And Sophia comes back unexpectedly and meets Dr. Newman because there is no graduation after all. And what's even worse is that she doesn't know that Dr. Newman's a little person, so she thinks she's having another stroke and has to have Dorothy clarify that she is not having another stroke. So this episode focused on dating people that you would normally not date and the drama that can cause for you and for others, as well as the stress that can cause. Rose is dating a little person. It's clear that she's not before, even though in a previous episode we have heard the story about the Aqua Midget, but she only viewed him as a friend. With Dr. Newman, she is romantically going out with him, and she definitely has some feelings going. But because he's not her size or taller, she's definitely got some issues and some hang-ups with that. In the end, she does kind of get past them after that weird, semi-hallucinogenic dream. And she decides that it's not a crisis, but then he has another issue that's even bigger, and it's religion. Religion and politics tend to be the two topics that trump everything and cause all kinds of drama. And yes, there was pun intended on that T word. But in this case, she gets dumped solely because she's not Jewish. Doesn't matter that she's tall, doesn't matter that she's older, doesn't matter that she's simple, etc. Solely because she is of a different religion. And I think she's actually mentioned it. Sometimes she says Lutheran, and I think in a few episodes during the show she says Presbyterian. So it's probably just a continuity issue with the writers. They didn't read or watch previous episodes. And then, of course, Blanche. Gotta love Blanche. She is dating Benjamin, and does she take him to the senior prom when he asks? Rose and Dorothy, of course, automatically assume that Benjamin is of a different race, and that is why she is worried about how people are going to react if she takes him to the prom. Turns out, though, that's not the issue. He's from New Jersey, a state in the north, so he's a Yankee and not a Southerner. And I guess that's even more of a drama during when Blanche would have been in high school than if he had been of a different race or of a different religion. But ultimately, she went to the prom with her guy. Rose was going to accept the proposal from her guy. And both would have been happily ever after. But Rose, no, because she's not Jewish. And Blanche, well, she probably just got bored with Benjamin and dumped him.
It's been great reliving this episode with you. Please check out the podcast website, anchor.fm/I love this TV show, no spaces. You'll be able to see the show notes and also support this podcast. To check out everything I'm up to and nerding about, head over to pastasworld.com. You'll also find additional content there. Thanks for listening, and stay golden.